second half? We'll leave it there. What more can you say? Bad. Bad news. Bad scene. Not what you're looking for. I do want to get to, throughout the evening, some new reporting on the Red Sox. It just came out about 10 minutes ago. Chris Cotillo dropped 1,500 words on the trading deadline and what's coming up for this team, what they're hearing, some really good reporting on that. So really, truly the latest reporting we have on the Red Sox trade deadline, and that's going to be the biggest story here over the course of the next 2 weeks, at least leading up to training camp for the Patriots. Will be the Red Sox trading deadline. I think it's a good news, bad news type of situation, which we will get into here momentarily at the 10 o'clock hour. But I do, because we did not get a chance to get into this before the Revs game tonight, I do want to quickly talk about this Bill Belichick piece by Don Van Natta in ESPN, and I will read you what you need to know as part of this. Van Natta wrote, Bill Belichick has rarely reacted publicly to comments made about him by Patriots owner Robert Kraft since the two men parted ways 18 months ago after a remarkable 24-year dynasty in New England. But on the heels of recent comments by Kraft that he took, quote, a big risk, unquote, by hiring Belichick in 1999, Belichick responded to a statement to ESPN that it was he who took the big risk by joining a flailing franchise with few resources that was $10 million over the salary cap. He's pointing to the salary cap in the year 2000, 25 years ago. By the way, we're $10 million over the cap. Quote, as I told Robert multiple times throughout the years, I took a big risk by taking the New England Patriots head coaching job. Belichick told ESPN in a response to questions. I had already had an opportunity to be the head coach of the New York Jets, but the ownership situation was unstable. Unquote. This thing is so rich. You've got to be kidding me. Now, all of a sudden, Bill Belichick is using the New York Jets as the grass was greener. Bill, how petty are you? For 25 years, I've heard Bill Belichick crap all over the New York Jets. And now he's saying, well, aren't you lucky that I didn't stay with the Jets? This thing is incredible. It's unbelievable. Belichick said he was urged by scores of people to reject Kraft's offer and remain with the Jets who had just hired him, despite the instability. Quote, I had been warned by multiple previous Patriots coaches, as well as other members of other NFL organizations and the media, that the New England job was going to come with many internal obstacles. I made it clear that we would have to change the way the team was managed and regain the previously attained success. Unquote. What a pissing match this is between Belichick and Kraft. Oh, no, I'm more responsible. No, you think you're more responsible? I'm more responsible. Screw you, buddy. That's the way this thing is going between Bill and Robert. And Skaz, you asked me a great question. You said, do you really care in the end? Like, do Patriots fans at this point really care that Belichick and Kraft are going back and forth at each other like this? Like, do you care? And admittedly, as a Patriots fan, I don't care. I don't. Now, I care as a sports talk radio host because it's a great story in that sense, because you have two people who keep going back and forth at each other, and that's always good for gossip, for tabloidy stuff. And this is what it is. This is what the Patriots have been reduced to. This is what Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft have been reduced to, taking shots at each other through the media because they're too petty about it. So in the end, do I care as a Patriots fan? No, but I care as a talk show host because it's incredible. They can't stop. This is all I want. All I want. And you can share your thoughts at 617-779-0985. Robert Kraft, for years, has been denied entry into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Bill Belichick, thanks to a change in rules, is now eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He is eligible next year. I want the writers, I want the committee, I want the people in the smoke-filled back rooms that determine who goes into Canton, and it's the worst process of any of the Hall of Fames out there. I think the Pro Football Hall of Fame is, well, I think the Basketball Hall of Fame is probably a slightly bigger joke. The Pro Football Hall of Fame is a joke. And the way they go about it, and it's not really worth all that much to me, but I know what it's worth to Robert Kraft because he wants to be in there, and I'm sure I know what it's worth to Bill Belichick. What these committees need to do is they need to ensure that Belichick and Kraft go in together. What could be more fitting than those two going in together? Because they both were a big part of the Patriots' success. Robert Kraft was a good owner for a long time around here. No doubt about it. Bill Belichick is one of the greatest coaches in the history of the NFL. There is no doubt about that. They both deserve to be in. And they both can't stand each other. And they're both spending their 70s and their 80s trying to prove that they were more valuable to this thing than the other person. Because they can't get past it, because in the end, they're two petty old men. They should put them in together. And they should make them stand next to each other up there. And both of them should have a little bit of their moment overshadowed by the other. That is the most fitting result for all of this. And that's what they deserve. Oh, Robert, you want to go in the Hall of Fame? That's fine. But we're putting you in with Bill. Hey, Bill. You know how, you had Spygate and Deflategate and, the NFL hates you and you're just a miserable prick, like that thing? Yes, you're a great coach and you deserve to go in. But given that you care so much about who's responsible for all of this and you can't make that argument with Tom Brady anymore, now you're having to pick this fight with Robert Kraft over it, you're going to share the stage with Robert. And you're not going to get your moment as much as you want it. That's what should happen here. They should go in at the same time. So they both have to be kind of miserable about going in with the other person. That is the way it should be. What a fitting result this would be for all of this, for putting us through this, for putting the fans through this. Can you just get along? Can mommy and daddy just get along? And it turns out they can't.
I'm all in on this idea. I just think there's even more wrinkles to it that I think could make it, even funnier. Is that so Belichick is eligible next year because they changed the rule, 2026. Kraft obviously could go in whenever at this point. They announced that they're going to go in together. Does Bill say, I need to get a job in the NFL? I gotta push that eligibility back a year. And then the other one is, I almost wish Pete wasn't coaching the Raiders this year, because imagine the three of them. Imagine it's Kraft, Pete, and Belichick up there. Like, that would just be great too. Pete Carroll, the guy that they ran out of here, basically. Guess what? He's going in the Hall right next to you. Like, so I'm all in on this. I think them going into the Hall together, it would be very fitting, because they're the reason each of them would be going in. Belichick's the reason Kraft is going in. Kraft is definitely a big reason that Belichick is going in. So I love this idea.
And that's the reality of it. And those two are too petty to be able to accept that reality. That's why they deserve to go in together, because they both, frankly, Skaz, they both should be in the Hall of Fame. They should.
Without a doubt.
They've screwed Robert Kraft for years on this. And, I don't know, maybe they'll hold something against Belichick and let him, wait for a few years. The NFL Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's all over the place. You have no idea who's going in at any given time, because it's a bunch of dudes in a smoke-filled room and there's no transparency to the ballots. This is not the Baseball Hall of Fame. At least I know Dan Shaughnessy's the person keeping the steroid people out. Like, at least I know that. I can call Shaughnessy and be like, hey, Dan, why won't you put the steroid guys in, you a-hole? Can you do what's right? Nobody knows who's keeping Kraft out of the Hall of Fame. Nobody knows who would keep Belichick out of the Hall of Fame if he didn't go there next year. But the fitting result, put them in together. Make both of them have their moment a little bit stolen by the other. That's the only right outcome as part of this. Grow up, both of you. 617-779-0985. We can get into that. But also, this Chris Cotillo reporting that has just come down, we will break down this article. It's kind of a good news, bad news situation for Red Sox fans approaching the deadline. I will explain next. It's McCarthy in for Joe Murray.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 90.
Star break. That's a killer. That's a killer for you and me and everybody who loves sports out there. I mean, you could be a soccer guy like me and you could have watched the Revs give up 5 goals in the second half tonight, but that is neither here nor there. I will not let the Revs bring me down from what the Red Sox are about to do to me, which is probably bring me down, because that's what they do. Hey, but I'm in. I believe in the Red Sox. And Chris Cotillo has reporting tonight, Mass Live, on what we're hearing, what he's hearing ahead of the trade deadline 2 weeks from now. Here's what Cotillo says. Here's what we're hearing broken down into 5 ways that Breslow might deal in the next 2 weeks at this point. Number 1, rotation need remains the biggest. Breslow similarly, good God. I'm going to try that again there, Skaz. Breslow, similarly to how he approached the winter, has preached the importance of adding an impact starter before July 31st. Anyone who has an expectation that a number 2 option is a guarantee should reset their expectations, however. Thank you for that, Chris. We're 2 paragraphs into this thing, and you already have me bumming out. Much appreciated, Chris Cotillo. The Red Sox think the trio of Garrett Crochet, Brian Bayo, and Lucas Giolito is playoff caliber, especially after Bayo and Giolito showed they can dominate for a prolonged stretch. Therefore, any type of rotation add is on the table, especially in the wake of Hunter Dobbins' season-ending ACL injury. A high-value running mate for Crochet, like Minnesota's Joe Ryan, looks great on paper, but the asking price will be insane, much more than just Jarren Duran. The guess here is that the Red Sox, while waiting to push for controllable options, instead find the market to be prohibitive and push for a high-floor rental. While Crochet, Bale, and Giolito, most likely Dobbins, Fitz, Tanner Houck, and Kyle Harrison, all controlled past this year, the Red Sox don't have to rush into another long-term rotation add. Luckily for Breslow, there's still talent to be found on the rental market. Arizona's Zach Allen and Merrill Kelly, Kansas City's Seth Lugo, Baltimore's Charlie Morton, and Pittsburgh's Andrew Heaney would all help the group while not breaking the bank. It's fun to speculate on controllable options like Ryan, Sandy Alcantara, Mitch Keller, and Edward Cabrera, but look no further than the Crochet situation to see how these things play out. Sellers are smart to keep these guys into the winter and then create a bidding war. So Cotillo's hitting on the most important part of the Joe Ryan trade, and that is, why would the Twins want to move him now? It might make more sense for the Twins to move him later on. And this gets into something, Skaz, that Jared Carrabis said earlier today. We played this cut earlier today on what it might take to get a guy like Joe Ryan, and should the Red Sox be willing to part with their number one pitching prospect, Peyton Tolle, to get Joe Ryan? Because if I'm the Minnesota Twins, I am not trading Joe Ryan unless I'm getting another team's number one pitching prospect. Here's what Carrabis had to say about that.
Would you move Tolle for Ryan?
I don't think it would be a straight up deal. I'd have to see the whole package. Like I think it's definitely something where Joe Ryan's the name. Like, that's the name that I'm personally circling. I know that you're joining me in that regard. I don't think it's going to be obviously a 1-for-1. I'd be like, what else is in there? And I think the thing is, Tony, there are guys in this system right now that have a lot of value, just not to the Red Sox. I think it's the perfect time for the Red Sox to make a prospect heavy baseball trade, because they have a lot of talent in their system. It's just where does it fit? They're trying to get rid of guys because they have too many players at the big league level. Now you're talking about trying to make room for these other guys that haven't even made their debuts yet. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting deadline in that sense, because they do have the talent. It's not like they're a barren wasteland that they're trying to make a deal from.
So I hope Carrabis is right about that. I hope the Red Sox take that approach. And Carrabis isn't necessarily saying that's what the Red Sox are going to do, but his point is the Red Sox have, a good minor league system. They have a bunch of guys who probably aren't going to play here. It's time to unload some of those guys for somebody like Joe Ryan. And it might be an overpay. As Cotillo suggests, a high-value running mate, again, reading from Mass Live, a high-value running mate for Crochet like Minnesota's Joe Ryan looks great on paper, but the asking price will be insane, much more than just Jarren Duran. Yes, the asking price is going to be insane. It should be insane. Joe Ryan has multiple years of control left before he hits free agency. He's an all-star pitcher. He's 29 years old. You have to give up something to get something. I don't want to hear the price was too much. I don't want to hear it was too expensive, because what that is saying to me is we're not willing to trade Peyton Tolle. The Twins undeniably, we don't need reporting on this. We know what the Twins want. We know what the Twins are going to ask for. The Twins, like any organization in baseball, if they're trading a pitcher, they want a pitcher back. It's that simple. So for the Red Sox, that's Peyton Tolle. He's going to be your number one prospect. So to me, it comes down to, are you willing to trade Tolle, yes or no, for Joe Ryan? I'm willing to do it. Peyton Tolle is the mystery box. Hey, you can have Joe Ryan, or you can have the mystery box. Well, one of it is Joe Ryan, and Joe Ryan's really good, but the mystery box, it could be anything. It could even be Joe Ryan. I know what I'm getting. I'm getting a controllable commodity who's going to slide right in after Garrett Crochet in the rotation. 2 all-star pitchers at the front of your rotation. You are a pennant contender. I don't want to hear that the price is going to be insane. I'm worried about this. This is the part of this Cotillo story that I'm most worried about. I'm reading this as a pump the brakes. Pump the brakes on Joe Ryan. Pump the brakes on the Red Sox spending the type of capital it's going to take to go out and get a number 2 starter. Guys, it's going to be expensive. We all know it's going to be expensive. That's the way it is. You have to be willing to pay that price, and given where the Red Sox are at, they should be willing to pay that price. I'm just not convinced that they are. So, this is Cotillo speculating here. He said the guess here is that the Red Sox, while willing to push for controllable options, instead find the market to be prohibitive and push for a high floor rental. Don't do it. Don't do it. Go for the controllable options. Go for the actual all-star pitchers. Go for Joe Ryan. Pay what it takes for Joe Ryan. It's not going to cost you Roman Anthony. Nobody's trading Roman Anthony. But if it's going to cost you your number 1 prospect in Peyton Tolley, who is a pitcher who you hope someday turns into a Joe Ryan quality pitcher, I'll take Joe Ryan for the next 3 years over Peyton Tolley and whatever he is for 6. It's not like we're talking about a guy who's only going to be here for 1 year. Ryan is controllable. It's going to cost you a lot. They should be willing to pay a lot for Joe Ryan.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I wonder whenever we get these, trade deadline articles, I always what to the Red Sox is too much. Yep. That's the part that's is it Tolley, Duran, and the password and something else that they view as too much? Is it Duran, Tolley? Yeah, I think that's the question here. And then on the high floor rentals, or the rental market, is it Zach Gallen or is it Andrew Heaney or Charlie Morton? Because I know they're in the same, market as rentals, but to me, there's still a big difference between Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly and Charlie Morton.
So Gallen's not having a great year. You're making a bet on his upside. Kelly is 36, but he's having a good year, and he's been a big game pitcher for Arizona. So, what does that cost you? It shouldn't cost you all that much. Arizona does strike me as, it's going to cost you something because he's a quality starting pitcher. So, and teams always need quality starting pitchers. There's a deal to be made here, Skaz, with Arizona for one of their pitchers. Because Arizona is the type of team where Jarren Duran makes a lot of sense. Because they have a lot of free agents. They've been competitive in the past, and I think they probably want to do a quick reset for next year. Duran, can hit the ball there and can run a mile. It's a bigger ballpark. It's a hitter's ballpark in that sense. Given actually, because the elevate, there's a lot there for a hitter like Jarren Duran. He can hit the ball and run a mile there. I think there's a deal to be made with Arizona with Duran for not only one of their pitchers, but for Josh Naylor. So if you're trading Duran for somebody who does not have team control, the Red Sox need to get more back in return. How would you feel about trading Duran, 3 years of control for him for a starting first baseman and a number 2 starter? I'm in on that idea.
Done. Sign me up.
Yep. Easy. And then we can decide whether you want Kelly or whether you want Gallen. And we can have a discussion about that. Gallen has a way higher ceiling, but has not had a very good year. So there is that. But my concern here, and Skaz, you bring up a good point, is how much is too much for the Red Sox? Here's my hope with this article. My hope is this is a little bit of posturing from the Red Sox. They're getting a story out there where they're saying, we can go to the rental market. We don't need you, Minnesota. Because I still think they want to get a deal done with the Twins. They should still want to get a deal done with the Twins. My hope is this is a little bit of posturing. I think with everything, and Cotillo's an outstanding reporter, and I think the vast majority of this is, it's all true in a certain sense, right? The Red Sox are saying, hey, we don't want to pay that high a price. But they're getting that out there because that helps their negotiating position with the Twins. Because at the end of this story, in Section 5, where Cotillo talks about the Red Sox potentially looking to upgrade their backup catcher situation because Connor Wong is awful. One name to watch, writes Cotillo, old friend Christian Vazquez, who is also not hitting, a 170 average, a 492 OPS, but has some intangibles the Red Sox like. The Twins would probably trade him in a salary dump. So all of a sudden, the Red Sox are saying, no, we're not going to overpay. We don't want to overpay. But we'll take Christian Vazquez from you if that makes this deal a little bit easier for you. I find that very interesting. Very, very interesting. Because we heard yesterday from Jimmy Stewart that the Red Sox are willing to take on money if it means giving up less for Joe Ryan. Vazquez would represent that. So that's my hope, is that this story is the Red Sox trying to posture a little bit with the Twins. There's another really interesting thing in here that I want to get into. They're not out on the idea of bringing in a bigger bat. That's the good news coming out of this thing. We'll get into that. 617-779-0985. McCarthy in for Joe Murray.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray.
he would get you a lot in return. But Duran should get you a lot in return because he's under team control as well. So really the decision comes down to, do you want to trade Abreu or do you want to trade Duran? And to me, that one's obvious. It's trading Duran every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Abreu just makes more sense for the Red Sox. Plays Gold Glove right field, has power. That's why I'm keeping him over Duran. But Cotillo writes, the Red Sox offense has been good for a prolonged stretch and is expected to be better with Alex Bregman and Masataka Yoshida both back in the mix. That does not mean the club is all set when it comes to lineup production. The current group, sans Devers, lacks a little bit of pop, so a reinforcement is still on the table. Breslow is not going to add an outfielder. He's not touching third base, shortstop, or second. So any acquisition better be able to play first base. Obvious options include Orioles All-Star Ryan O'Hearn, a rental, Washington's Nathaniel Lowe, controlled through 2026, and Arizona's Josh Naylor, another rental. But there's also a chance Boston's recent surge could open up a big opportunity to add in an unforeseen way. The Red Sox hurt the Rays' playoff chances by sweeping them in a 4-game set before the break and are now 2.5 games above Tampa Bay, which seemed, entering last week, like it would be a cautious buyer. But the Rays do what they always do, and trade players getting close to free agency. Someone like Yandy Diaz could be available. If he is, sources indicate he'd be high on the wish list of some Red Sox decision makers. Diaz has steady pop as evidenced by his 14 pre-break homers and could get a little rich for the Rays' blood as he's earning $10 million this year and $12 million in 2026 before a vesting option kicks in for 2027. The Rays are always willing to deal players as they get close to free agency and could do the same here. One potential factor working against that theory: industry insiders who know the Rays well wonder if they'll try to contend one last time under the helm of owner Stu Sternberg before his $1.7 billion sale to Jacksonville developer Patrick Zalewski going through this fall, which, as an aside, baseball has totally screwed this one up, not selling the Rays to somebody who wants to move the Rays. Get that team out of Tampa Bay. That market doesn't deserve baseball. Florida doesn't deserve baseball. Get both those teams out there to better places. That's neither here nor there. But Yandy Diaz would be interesting. He's got pop. He can play first base. That is such a Rays thing. Like, oh yeah, let's just trade one of our better players. Guy's 800 career OPS guy. He has some pop. He's a good player. He's in the division. He is 33. So I wouldn't give up a lot for him, but if there's a deal to be made there, Diaz is interesting, to say the least, because then Diaz probably, I would assume, just becomes your everyday first baseman, and Roby Gonzalez then moves away from first base, which is a position he cannot play defensively, and then platoons with Meyer at second base, because Meyer can't hit lefties, and Romy Gonzalez crushes lefties. So that is certainly something to take a look at. What they do after that with Jarren Duran becomes a huge question. But let's get to Steve in Miami on that. Hey, Steve.
Wonderful evening. And yes, I agree with you that Miami, in a sense, doesn't deserve a baseball team. But living now down in Miami, I want to keep one here because there's not much else to do, and it's hard to follow baseball.
Steve, you're not on South Beach doing pink cocaine? You're not doing that?
No, that's okay. But I'll tell you one thing.
I mean, you should give it a shot sometime. I mean,
I went to the Savannah Bananas in February, March 1st, and as I mentioned to people who work for the Marlins as well as the police who are around, I said the Marlins wish they could get a month full of people in the stadium for their games as they are with the Savannah Bananas. I mean, it was packed just like it was with Fenway Park last weekend or 4th of July weekend. That is such a unique brand of baseball. But you answered the question actually that I was going to pose about who to trade, Duran or Abreu. Duran, of course, brings a little bit of leadership. He also brings team togetherness. He brings speed at the top of the lineup and all that. But I agree with you that Abreu brings the defense and the occasional pop of a home run. the Red Sox have not had this wonderful uniqueness for a long time with four good outfielders. With Rafaela, at first would have been the guy to get rid of, but he's come on so strong that he is just definitely untradeable. Plus, he's got a good salary for the Red Sox.
Yeah, I mean, it makes their decision in some way harder on that, and I got to let you go on that, Steve. Thank you. Which gets into what do you do now? Because they do have 4 good outfielders. I mean, 2 of them can actually field. Rafael and Abreu can field. Anthony's not a great outfielder, and Duran is a terrible outfielder. He's no good out there. But this brings into the third part of Cotillo's story. Is the outfield problem really a problem? As Cotillo writes, it's easy for armchair GMs, and yes, those of us who cover the team, to look at the crowded outfield mix and assume a trade is a fait accompli. Long term, it surely is, but for a team that wants to make a playoff push, is the club better or worse without Duran or Willie or Abreu on the club? Worse, for sure, assuming that a magic deal for a big league starter doesn't come together before the 31st. There's a very slim chance someone in the Duran, Abreu, Cedon, Rafaela, Roman Anthony group doesn't get hurt by the end of the season, and therefore the Sox can enjoy the luxury of the depth they have amassed for a 2-month stretch. And while they're playing on an every-game basis, having a proven big leaguer as a pinch-hitting option is something any manager would sign off on. The Red Sox wanted to move on from Devers and were going to take the best offer it made sense for them. The situation with the outfielders is different. There's a real case to be made waiting until the offseason, when all 30 teams are theoretical contenders and willing to get creative. It makes the most sense. There won't be a deal for the sake of making a deal here, which is the right way to approach it. They should not trade Duran just to trade Duran so Alex Cora doesn't have to figure it out every day, and Anthony, Abreu, Rafaela, and Duran, and Yoshida. They should not trade Duran to do that. But they should absolutely be willing to trade Duran if it gets you something that you don't have in return. And I'm not talking prospects. If you can trade Duran to Arizona in a deal for a pitcher and Josh Naylor, you're getting a first baseman and a pitcher that you don't have for a surplus of outfielders. I'm in on that. If Duran is a part of a Joe Ryan trade, even if that's an overpay for Joe Ryan, I'm in on that. Because you're throwing Duran in as a sweetener, sure, fine, whatever that thing is, that's helping me get something I don't have. I'm not trading him just to trade him. I'm definitely trading him in the offseason, but I'm trying to trade him now as best I can. And maybe we'll get 90 cents on the dollar for Jarren Duran. That might be the case. But if it gets you something you don't have, and it helps you win baseball games as a result, I'll make that deal any day of the week. How about Pete in Dorchester real quick on the All-Star game? Hey, Pete.
Hey, what's up, McCarthy? Big fan.
Thanks,
I consider myself like a casual baseball fan. My interest definitely peaks like when the Sox start doing well, which they have been. But I was just really impressed with the All-Star game last night. And I know baseball in general has gotten like a lot of flack. Like the ratings aren't as good as like other pro sports or whatever. But I mean, just watching that game last night, I mean, talk about the athletes on display, from the pitchers throwing, over 100 miles an hour. And then you got like, it seemed like everyone with the bat in their hand was 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", hitting the ball 115 miles an hour like a Djokovic serve. Like, I mean, it was pretty impressive to watch. And I don't know, I feel like baseball is just in great shape overall. And
exactly,
it helps
Pete.
them, when the Sox are doing well as well.
Exactly, Pete. And this is how we open the show tonight. You can find it on the podcast. You can find it on Twitter, YouTube right now, social media. It's out there. You just kind of alluded to the problem. You're like, well, I know baseball isn't in a great spot right now. No, it is. Baseball's in a really good spot right now. You said, I know ratings are down. No. Don't listen to the afternoon show here. Ratings are up in baseball. Ratings are up significantly in baseball. We went through this. All-Star game, highest rated All-Star game since 2017. Attendance, most attendance since 2017. World Series last year, most watched World Series since 2017. No, baseball is in as good a spot as it's been in a decade. We got to stop talking about it like the sport is dying. The sport is on the upswing now. And the talent's really good. And that was, listen, it's an all-star game, so let's not overrate an all-star game product. But for an all-star game, that wasn't a bad watch last night. And the swing-off was great. The swing-off was awesome. The game is actively being fixed. It's getting better. It's on the upswing. Let's stop talking about it like it's on the downswing. That's an old take. It's a lazy take from people who haven't watched or haven't paid attention. Because more people are watching and more people are engaging than they have in a long time. And that's not me just saying that as a baseball fan. It's an undeniable, undisputable fact. The numbers are the numbers. More people are watching than they have in a long time. And more people are engaging. Anecdotally, I talk Red Sox this summer. I get way more Red Sox calls than I've gotten in a long time because people are into it, as they should be. There was a moment in the All-Star game last night that I think a lot of fans really liked. That leads to a little segment I like to call McCarthy's Fact List. It is a McCarthy thing to have a list and to put people on it. Little trivia for you. Coming up, it's tied into last night's game. Skaz and intern Luke are going to take part in this. You don't want to miss this. Coming up next.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Revs lost the Red Bulls 5-3 tonight. 5 goals in the second half for New York. Bruins schedule released today. They open up on the road on August 8th. Brad Marchand returning to Boston on October 21st. Bruins home opener against Chicago on October 9th. And 3-time NBA All-Star Bradley Beal agreeing to a contract buyout with the Suns. He will join the Clippers, 2 years, $11 million. Headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance. We have this great Chris Cotillo article, which I'm sure will be covered quite in depth tomorrow. But I always like a good test of the minds, just to see how sharp you are at 10:45 at night. How sharp do you think you are, Skaz?
Not very. If it's baseball related, we'll see.
You might be in trouble. Then.
Might be in trouble here.
So we call this segment McCarthy's Fact List. The McCarthys out there have been known to put people on different types of lists. I have a list of 28 guys. And here's what I'm going to need you and intern Luke to do. Intern Luke from where?
Belmont, Massachusetts.
That's not, I don't care
Ithaca
about Belmont,
College.
Massachusetts.
Ithaca College.
That's right. Belmont, whatever. Winchester.
Ithaca
All right.
College.
Okay. Only the greatest and finest academic institution.
That's our common ground.
And a tremendous communications program. Yeah. If I must say so myself. I have a list of 28 guys, and you just need to simply put, you're going to go back and forth, you're going to name a guy on this list. 3 strikes, you're out. You get 1 hint. You can ask me 1 hint. So if you're down to 2 strikes and you can't name a guy, you get to ask me a hint, and I'll try and help you out. Does that make sense? Is that a good format for this? We good? We good on that?
Let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
The only thing is, you don't know the topic. Last night at the All-Star Game, we honored the great Henry Aaron, who is the all-time home run king. Henry Aaron is one of the few players in baseball history to be in the 500 home run club and the 3,000 hit club. Forget the 3,000 hits. There are 28 guys on the 500 home run list in baseball. All you need to do is start naming them. Luke, you're a baseball guy, right?
Yeah.
Skaz?
I can pretend. Yeah. No, I love baseball.
Tell you what, Skaz, you're going to go first.
No asterisks in these. Just if you hit 500 home runs.
Correct. If you hit 500 home runs, 28 guys in the history of baseball have done it. I literally just gave you one. Name somebody on the 500 as a member of the 500 home run club.
I will start with the greatest hitter of all time, Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds is correct. That's not what you're looking for. Hey, there we go. Barry Bonds, number 1 at 762. Luke?
Show me Albert Pujols, please.
Oh, I sure can. Albert Pujols, number 4 on the list at 703. Skaz?
Show me Alex Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm. Number 5, 696.
Give me David Ortiz.
17 at 541.
Give me Manny Ramirez.
15, 555.
I'll take out Ted Williams, please.
Teddy Ballgame. Tied for 20th at 521 home runs.
Give me Mark McGwire.
Not what you're looking for. Sorry. Yes, Mark McGwire is on the list. Hold on. Mark McGwire at 583.
Can I ask if somebody's already been said before?
No, it's your job to
okay.
remember.
All right.
Yep. That would be a strike against you.
All right. I'm gonna all right, Ken Griffey Jr. Oh, I thought I already
I held
I know
you up
he's on
there
the
for
list.
a second.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr., number 8 on the list
All
at
right.
630 home runs.
Show me Willie Mays.
Willie Mays. Say hey. You guys are doing real well with this.
Let's go with Roger Maris.
Not even in the Baseball Hall of Fame, Roger Maris.
Wow. Okay.
Roger Maris not on the list. I'd be really curious to know how many home runs Roger Maris had in his career.
All right.
I don't think it was anywhere close to 500, which is a great kind of like trick up thing in sports trivia. Not in the Hall of Fame. Roger Maris, only 275 career home runs.
Short-lived career. Okay.
His dominance was short.
Yeah.
Back-to-back MVPs. He was MVP in Kansas City, and then he went to the Yankees and won the MVP there.
Okay.
Jim Thome.
Oh, Jim Thome. Good job there, Skaz. Jim Thome, number 6 on the list at 612.
Take a Stan Musial.
Looking down the list.
Oh, you got it. Oh.
Nope. Sorry. Whoops. I'm not doing well with those
You gotta
buzzers.
get it.
Incorrect.
Wow.
Stan the
Wow.
Man, not on the list. I'm just going to confirm. But I don't think Stan had 500 home runs. Just make sure my list is not incorrect. Stan the Man, 475 home runs.
Oh my God.
Luke,
Okay.
you're down to 2
All right.
strikes. Skaz, Mr. Baseball.
No, I'm
back
down to my
there.
last strike. I have 1 strike left.
Well, correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Skaz, Mr. Baseball back there is crushing it. You can start taking some swings for the fences.
Yeah, I'm going to take a swing here. There's a cove named after this man. I'm going to say Willie McCovey.
Oh, good guess, Skaz. Willie McCovey, tied for 20th at 521 home runs with the great Teddy Ballgame. So, Luke, just remember, you do have a hint if you need it. You can also think you can ask what numbers we have left on the list. Like,
Yeah, can you tell me what numbers we have left, please?
2, 3, 9, 10, 12 through 14, 16, 18, 19, and then 21 through 28.
All right, I'm gonna. If I lose because this person said before, then that's unfortunate. We'll go with Babe Ruth.
How is it possible that we've been doing this segment for 5 minutes and you jackasses didn't say Babe Ruth?
That was why I was nervous. I thought one of us had said it already.
Before my time.
Skaz?
Okay. Trying to go through the Rolodex here. Someone recently in the 500 home run club. Oh, man. I'm Sammy Sosa.
Sammy Sosa, number 9 on the all-time home run list at 609. He is one of 9 hitters in the 600 home run club.
So what kind of hints are we talking here, McCarthy?
I mean, good enough hints.
Like I can't get a team, right?
I could give you a team, but again, you can ask the numbers remaining. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
That's not a hint.
let me get the numbers one more time, please.
Number 2, I'm going to stress that again. Number 2, number 10, 12 through 14, 16, 18, 19, 22 through 28.
All right, Ty Cobb.
Wow. Oh, man, he didn't even use the hint.
Wow.
Ty Cobb. Kind of a punching Judy, that Ty Cobb.
Wow.
I'm sure he would slash me. He would slash my throat for saying that. No, Ty Cobb not on the list. James Scaramazino. Oh, no, not Mr. Baseball back there. I don't know. No strikes and you win the thing?
I got a couple more, too, I think.
All right, let's name a couple
Well,
more.
number 2 you gave us.
I did, but I said one
We
of
could
you
use him.
I said one of you could use him, and neither of you did.
Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron, number 2.
Oh, I thought that. Oh my God.
I was with you, Luke. I thought it was off the table as well.
All right.
You know what? Confusing.
That's crazy.
I'll
That's
I'll
crazy.
give you that.
I would argue that I deserve a strike back for that.
You know what?
Hey, give him it back.
Let's give him
Thank
it back.
you. I appreciate
you get
that.
to use your hint. What's your so you want a hint on a guy?
Yeah. Throw me a hint, please. And if I win, we'll throw an asterisk next to it.
You're not going to win.
Yeah, confidence level's not high right now.
His nickname is Mr. October.
Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson, number 14 on the list.
Rafael Palmeiro.
Oh, Skaz. That's one of the real tough ones. Skaz is on fire back there.
Well,
Palmeiro?
steroids guy. I'm going steroids right now.
You know, Palmeiro hit 569 career home runs.
Too many for him.
Way too many. You're on the ropes there, kid.
This is a little bit of a. I'll say Ernie Banks, not confidently.
Oh, dude.
Yeah?
Nicely done.
All right, thank you.
Ernie Banks.
There we go.
Tied for 23rd. I would agree. Ernie Banks of the guys on this list
Yeah.
would be the type of guy you would not think of hitting 500 career home runs. Skaz?
I would not have gotten Ernie Banks. I'm going to go with the big hurt, Frank Thomas.
He's on Nugenics, and she'll like it too. Frank Thomas, 521 home runs. All thanks to Nugenics.
All right, let's see.
So now we've
Mickey
got,
Mantle.
Oh, good call. The kid is back from the dead, baby. Back from the dead.
Don't get nervous now, Skaz.
Don't count an Ithaca College student out. Skaz?
Oh, boy. You are backing me into...
You gave him a lifeline. You shouldn't have given him that lifeline.
Jimmy Fox?
Oh, double X, Skaz. Nicely done. 19 on the list at 534. We got 2 minutes left in the program. You guys are going to have to go quick. 10, 12, 16, 23, 25, 25, 27, 28. There's one modern player on that list.
Modern as in still
Two-
playing? Or
Two modern players, one who retired in the last couple of years.
is one still active?
One is not still active,
Okay.
but he has stepped away from the game, and he is a modern-day great, one of the best hitters of your lifetime.
One of the best hitters of my lifetime. I don't get a hint on this one.
That's your hint.
Okay. All right. I never thought that he got to 500, but Miguel Cabrera.
Oh, the kid.
All right.
The kid is on fire.
I was very hesitant on Miguel Cabrera. I thought he only got to 400.
Skaz, got to fire off one quick.
Harmon Killebrew.
Dude, home run derby legend from back in the day. Harmon Killebrew, 12th on the list.
Does Skaz have a strike?
He does not have a strike. You got to make a quick guess here,
George
kid.
Brett.
That's a good guess, but he is not.
Fantastic
on the
Brett.
list.
Fantastic Brett.
You guys missed Frank Robinson, Mike Schmidt, Eddie Matthews, Mel Ott, Gary Sheffield, and number 28 on the list, Eddie Murray. I thought you both represented yourselves quite well on that.
I have to look at Skaz's search history here.
You're right.
When we get off the air, but
Well, I'm not Mr. Baseball back there.
thanks for having me on, Matt.
Always good to... You know what? Anybody from Ithaca College, always welcome on these airwaves if I have anything to say about it. Good job, Luke.
Thank you
Good
very
job,
much.
Skaz, tonight. Much appreciated. I'm Matt McCarthy. Joe Murray's back tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
This hour of the Joe Show is brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning, 24-hour on-call service for your clogged drain.